Hello, my name is Dr. Richard Harris and welcome to Supplement Saturday. And today we're going to start on a new series and we're going to start talking about some of the supplements that are in my new favorite supplement routine. If you're interested in routine, it's a personalized supplement program that looks at genetic testing and metabolite testing to create a customized supplement just for you. It's what I'm recommending for all my clients, my family members, everybody, because they do what I used to do in my private practice, which was do the genetic testing, do the metabolite testing. And by the way, metabolite testing just means, okay, we're not just looking at a level, let's say a B vitamin level. We're looking at what is the B vitamin being used for, and we're looking at are the processes that it's being used for optimized by looking at the outputs from that process. And so that's what metabolite testing is. It is the best way to check if you actually have a deficiency. So combining genetic information with metabolite testing truly creates a personalized, customized supplementation plan just for you. And that's what I've been doing in my private practice. Routine just does it cheaper. And that's why I jumped on that board, because I needed to have a way to provide this for my patients, my clients, my family in the most effective way possible, and that is routine. So let's dive in. We're going to be talking about B12 today. So what does vitamin B12 do? We all know about B12. We've heard about it. It's a very popular supplement and it's water soluble. So you really can't overdose on it. You know, extra B12 just gets peed out. It's one of the reasons why when you take a B supplement, you have that neon yellow urine. So what it does is B12 plays a really important role in energy production, especially from fats and proteins. So there's a really important role for B12 in our metabolism. If you don't have adequate B12 levels, you literally cannot make energy efficiently. And so that's one of the reasons why people take B12 is for extra energy. It's involved in a process called methylation. If you've listened to our podcast, you know that methylation, especially the epigenetics podcast, is the process of turning genes on and off. So we attach these little groups called methyl groups to our genes, and that's like flicking a light switch on and off. We can't change our genes, but we can change how they are expressed, and methylation is one of the key methods that does that. B12 is also involved in the synthesis of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the protein in the blood that carries oxygen. It's also involved in making our red blood cells. The red blood cells carry hemoglobin, so they are the vehicle that carries oxygen. And it's involved for the maintenance of nerve cells, which is very important. B12 is absolutely essential for our nervous system. It's also very important in making new DNA and RNA. These are the messenger signals inside cells. What all life is based on. The building blocks of all life is DNA and RNA. So B12, as you can see, is very, very important and has numerous different functions in the body. Now you'll see supplements have two different types, cyanocobalamin and methylcobalamin. Methylcobalamin is the activated version, and some people cannot activate it efficiently. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now, how common are these deficiencies? A study from 2013 showed that about 16% of adults and 20% of people above the age of 60 have a B12 deficiency. So these are millions of people walking around with B12 deficiencies. Now, what are the symptoms? It can be anemia, fatigue. A lot of times it's neurological symptoms, meaning memory loss, depression, dementia, numbness, and tingling. Now, by the time that has already happened, there's been significant nerve damage. And that's why I'm a big advocate of doing the metabolite testing, because you can have normal B12 levels, but functionally it's too low. And so you can see that in the metabolite testing that, hey, even though your B12 level is normal, what it's being used for is not being done correctly. And so you need to supplement B12 to prevent these nerve damage issues that can happen, because those can be permanent. What are the other symptoms? That can be methylation defects, chromosome breaks, so you can have DNA damage and problems utilizing DNA well. So what causes deficiencies? Alcoholism, malabsorption. If you have an issue where you have too little stomach acid, and that can happen with H. pylori infection. It can happen with medications. So all those proton pump inhibitors like Protonix, all those H2 blockers like famotidine can cause this. Vegan, if you're vegan, that can cause it. Check out our nutrient deficiencies podcast. We talk about that. Diabetic meds, so metformin is notorious for causing B vitamin deficiencies. And then some other medications as well, like colchicine, can cause it. So what are the food sources of B12? It's mainly meats. It's mainly shellfish, red meat, poultry, fish, eggs, milk, and cheese. Those are the food sources that we get our B12 from. Now, when we're doing genetic testing for B12, we look at a couple different things. We look at the MTR gene. This is a gene for what is called intrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor is in our stomachs. It binds the B12 so it doesn't get destroyed, and that keeps it safe from stomach acid. Now, TCN is another one. There's TCN1 and 2. TCN1 binds the B12 in the stomach as well. Sorry, I messed that up. So intrinsic factors actually helps us absorb the B12. TCN is the one that actually binds it in the stomach to protect it. So these are two really critical genes to B12 metabolism. And then TCN2 binds the active form of B12 in the blood and helps move it around the body. So when we do metabolite testing, we're looking at various different things related to it. We're looking at homocysteine, VMA, MMA, methylmalonic acid. You're also looking at protein levels like glycine, leucine, isoleucine, valine. These are all things can be affected by B12 metabolism and adequate B12 levels. And B12 and folate work together. We'll talk about folate in another video because that's also an important nutrient, important vitamin that a lot of people are deficient in. Side effects, really none, because it is water soluble. If you don't use it, you pee it out. And the doses, most people are taking around 500 to 1,000 micrograms once a day. So I hope this video has taught you more about B12. Like I said, I highly recommend doing the genetic and the metabolite testing to customize the dose just for you. This is why I love Routine. It also meets all my other supplement requirements. It's CGMP. They do third-party testing. It is an incredible supplement, and that's why I'm recommending it to all my friends, family, and clients. There will be a link just below the video if you're interested in the Routine product. So next video, we'll be talking about folate. Thank you, and God bless.